you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. Staying warm. It's pretty much freezing out there.
Yeah, pretty much stuck inside right now, so I guess it works well.
Yeah.
Although at least it's gotten pretty.
Yeah, you're right. The sun's finally coming out. So yeah, I'm a real estate investor. I'm thinking about getting a rental property here soon. I would like to kind of do something that is that helps the community as well. So I've been looking into, like affordable housing and things like that, seeing how, if you drive around anywhere, you can see that it's a massive problem, right? And I just I see that Salvation Army pops up a lot for rapid rehousing. So that's why I reached out, just to get a little more information on the program.
Okay. So a couple of things. So we actually are the largest provider of emergency shelter in Central Texas. We have 3 shelters. We have the downtown shelter, which serves men and women, single men and women. We have the for women and children, which is in Northeast. And it is a facility that helps mothers and their children. And then right next door to that is the new center for families, which is a more traditional designation of a family. Although we have lots of non-traditional families there, it can be mothers with their children, but also dads and grandparents with guardianship of their children. So the main thing about that is that whatever a family defines as their nuclear family can live. And we have 2 phases. We have emergency shelter, which is usually where people go for 90 to 120 days. If they need more help and are having problems either paying down debt or need job skills or some other sort of catalyst that's a time-sensitive sort of thing, they're able to move into phase 2, which for us is transitional housing for them to, or extended stay housing for them to be able to stay as long as they need to get their affairs in order so that they can move into permanent housing. So rapid rehousing is not what happens for phase 2 people. Those folks end up staying with us for 6 months or so. But everyone else that I described is pretty much eligible for rapid rehousing. We have, I just read 6 minutes ago, our shelter for women and children, we actually have continued to have an 88% success rate in getting people successfully housed. Even despite COVID, so it's actually up a little bit more than just normal, which I think is kind of interesting. And so we are always looking for folks who have affordable housing, have subsidized housing. One of the other things that's interesting about our programs is depending on sort of the makeup and demographics, a couple of other financial aspects of a family or a person, when they're leaving us, they can potentially qualify for a program that we run called Passages. And those folks get case management and financial assistance for up to 18 months after they've left our shelters so that they don't rebound back.
Okay. Beautiful. So that
lots of information, but
yeah, it's a lot to take in, but this is exactly what I was looking for.
yeah, that's
so the passage, did you say it was the Passageways program? Passages program. Okay, and that's a little bit more of a not long term, but a little bit longer than the rapid rehousing type clients.
Well, so rapid rehousing clients can go into Passages. It's just that we're case managing them after they've left us. And with that comes financial assistance. So if a family qualifies or a person qualifies, we're able to continue to just check in with them, make sure everything's going okay, that they still have their job that they had when they left us, that they, the housing situation is okay. We also help subsidize their rent for a couple of months just to make sure that transition of no rent payment to now having a rent payment works well. the last thing we want to do is put somebody in housing and then have them bring back into shelter. So it's more of a diversion strategy to keep people in housing and not coming back to shelter.
Okay. Now, is there any, do I have to go through any type of licensing process or a zoning process or anything like that?
Oh, wow. Okay. So we aren't landlords, and we don't own housing complexes. So I'm not sure I'm the best person to answer your question.
As far as you guys are concerned, like you don't specifically look for a licensed facility or have any type of requirements like that?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. So some housing comes out of, instead of our funding to pay for people's rent, comes out of HUD Section 8 housing. That I think you're probably not thinking of that. If you're thinking of something different, that's sort of the big bailiwick of this. If you're talking about, you're going to build 100 units and they're all going to be affordable housing, then that might be something you're interested in looking at.
Probably not in the next year or two, but maybe long term for sure.
Right. For us, it's more of just knowing, and our caseworkers knowing who has affordable housing units. There is a calculation, I believe, the city puts out for what is classified as affordable housing. So that may be worth trying to track down to make sure that you can get the economies of scale work for you. I don't know. I'm well enough if I don't place people in housing, so I don't really know. I could probably help get you some answers, but
yeah, I'll definitely look into that too. It's just going on like the local sites and trying to figure that stuff out is very confusing. So I was seeing if you guys had any specific requirements. So
no, ours is more of just making sure. I mean, it's a big puzzle, and we're always just trying to make sure all the puzzle pieces fit well. We never want to make a family move to a place they don't want to be, a neighborhood they don't want to be. So a lot of times, and I keep saying family, but we also help single people. But we never want to make somebody move. Just say like, oh, we found you a place, and they're like, well, my entire family, like that kind of thing. We always want to try to be really cognizant of the family's needs, but also what's affordable. And so, we would want to know that you have affordable units and that you're willing to have our clients come live with, at your housing project, and that, if there are some sort of hiccups, things like we really see our landlords as our partners and not, you're welcome to evict someone for a whole bunch of different reasons. We would never dictate that you couldn't, but we'd also love to know before that happens. Like, we'd love to get a phone call just to make sure that it's good, that it's not a financial reason, or not, because the moment someone gets evicted, they're coming right back to us. And so if we can work in collaborative partnership around that, it would help us not see those people again in our shelter.
right, because the goal is to get them, not back in the shelter, but off into a better life.
And your goal is to not keep having turnover. I mean, so if we can talk, it helps.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%.
And, there is something to be said for having tenants who have known case managers supporting them in the background. And so versus just, John and Mary Smith, who you don't know who they are, where they came from, or if they're going to stay.
Right.
It's kind of nice to know that you have the Salvation Army behind them.
Perfect. Well, great. This is exactly kind of the information I was looking for. So I'm glad I reached out to you guys. And I'm just curious, I've been doing real estate investing for a couple of years. I'm always, I network with everybody. I have not really heard of anybody doing this. I'm sure you guys have like a list of landlords, but do you find a lot of landlords are interested in this? Do you get a lot of pushback, or do you do any type of outreach to look for them?
I don't really know how that works on the social services side. I do know that we're always looking for more places. Communities is a huge partner of ours, and this is all they do. They have thousands of units in town now, at different configurations of who they accept where. They're probably our number one source, in addition to regular and HUD Section 8 housing.
Oh, cool.
But we do have individual landlords that reach out like you are right now and just saying, hey, please keep me on your list. I'm really, can I show you what we're doing? And,
beautiful.
Let's talk.
Very cool. So I, obviously have a little bit more research to do and need to find the property, but when I do get something set up, it would be okay to give you guys a call, I'm assuming, right?
Of course.
Awesome.